Welcome to Veganpodden.se. My name is Minal. More than a year has passed since the COVID pandemic hit the world in a major way, and it was about this time last year in Sweden that we all started to understand that from now on life will take another turn. Now, 1 year after, there is actually no direct sight of the end of this pandemic. Vaccine has started to be rolled out, but also new mutations are constantly appearing and challenging the vaccines over and over again. We hold our breath. So this episode will be a comment on the challenges we humans stand for. And I will, strange enough, therefore, also talk about the Swedish pastry Semla that has made some headlines. It's not the first time companies are making marketing blunders when not accepting the future and not listening to what the market actually is demanding. And today, when this episode is released, it's also the official day for eating this cream-filled sweet bun in Sweden. So, hang on, let's get started. We knew since before that there is a climate crisis, and we all knew that the industrial handling of animals in order to produce cheap food has gone from bad to unacceptable. The animals are sentient and treated inhumanely. And now the pandemic gave evidence to that the way animals are handled are not only bad for the animals, but also become a deadly source for creating new pandemics. It's become bad for the humans. So the future, which most would agree on, requires a change. Some call it a transition, or that we need to be sustainable. Whatever we call it, we need, as the world leaders agrees on, go more plant-based and turn away as much as possible from animal farming and find sustainable alternatives. And today, many are changing their way of living. Some start fully or in part to be more plant-based. So back to the Swedish sweet dish named Semla. It is a very, very Swedish dish, we think in Sweden, but actually exists in other countries as well, but in other forms. The Swedish Semla is a sweet bun, usually filled with a sweet almond paste and whipped cream. But it can traditionally also be said to be filled with vanilla cream and jam. So what we believe are strict traditions may, after some scrutinizing, turn out to be something different. The semla has in any ways traditionally been eaten on a Tuesday, about 40 days before Easter, on Fat Tuesday, which globally also is known as Mardi Gras, meaning Fat Tuesday in French. The eating of fat food was to prepare for 40 days of fast. Well, nowadays, since so many love this sweet bun, it's almost served already after Christmas. Well, last week a news went viral that enraged the vegan communities in Sweden. The main dairy company, Arla, had made a competition where people could vote for the most tasty semla. And the winner was just about to become a cafe that made vegan semlas. It was just 1 week left of the competition. So just 1 week before the vegan semla was about to win, the dairy company Arla cancelled their own competition. Now they instead said that due to the pandemic, they chose to change the rules and instead buy 100 semlas from the top-ranking bakeries in the competition and give to elderly homes. As many angry vegans noted, the pandemic had already been lasting for a year when the competition of most tasty semla started. So the excuse for cancelling the competition was not believed to be the real cause. The cause was more likely to be that the Semla was vegan. But the dairy company also made clear to the vegan Semla cafe that they would not buy 100 Semlas from them, since they only wanted to buy Semlas containing cream made from cow milk. So in one go, the clear winner was robbed from both original price as well as the last-minute made-up price. But today I can note that the cafe got so much attention that they are totally overbooked with orders for vegan Semlas. And who doesn't want to try the best Semla in Sweden? So they probably scored a jackpot, because their cafe is now widely known and talked about. And the dairy company Arla seemed to have joined the group of many large companies who historically have done fundamental marketing blunders. This incident gave them so much badwill, and also a proof that they are just about to miss the train to the future. People choose vegan lifestyle for a reason: to make the world transist from animal farming into plant-based, to save animals from death and save the planet. It is a matter of life and death. The vegan Semlas has come to stay. They are soon to become mainstream. Today it's not an unusual order for a cafe to be asked to make a vegan Semla. Nowadays you even find so many places where you don't even need to pre-book them. So even if we all can understand that a dairy company may find it problematic to give a prize to a contender that does not use dairy products and get angry milk suppliers if a non-dairy Semla win, but the dairy company Arla will lose whatever they do. And the reason they can't win the battle is that the battle is already over. Dairy industry as we know it is passé. It's old news. Just as car manufacturers now see electric cars as the future investment and petrol cars something to phase out, even dairy industry needs to stand up and acknowledge how the future look like. Embrace the future and make something good out of it. Farmers that make their livelihood depending on animals should look for transforming their business to be plant-based. Dairy industry should transform their industry to be plant-based. That is the future, not to cancel competitions. How much more modern and sympathetic had it not been if the dairy company Arla just had given the win to the vegan cafe and then acknowledged that when you do online competitions, it can happen that a community, like the vegan community, will go all in and vote for the vegan Semla. But they didn't. Anyway, what is actually a Semla? The word Semla comes from the Latin word simila, meaning wheat flour. In Finnish, the word Semla means a round wheat bun. The same is valid in countries like Austria, where semmel is a round wheat bun. So there is an evolution when the bun has started to be filled with whipped cream or vanilla cream and jam or sweet almond paste. There are many variants, and in Sweden, from the beginning, there was also a tradition with eating the bun in hot milk. Now some people always eat this cream-filled bun in hot milk, and other has still never ever tried it that way. Yes, traditions differs, and traditions can also change. Younger generation has started to pimp up the Semla, so now you can get Semla wrap or a Semla with totally different flavor such as chocolate, licorice, and so on. So a vegan Semla, it is quite mainstream, isn't it? And just the same week, in Super Bowl, another remarkable thing happened. The company Oatley, with dairy alternatives, bought a commercial spot on the American event named Super Bowl. It's the final match in the American National Football League, and a commercial spot of 30 seconds on this match costs $5 million. Yes, you heard right. 5 million in the currency dollars. In this expensive commercial spot, the CEO of the oat drink company Oatley sang a song about the oat drink and how it is like milk but made for humans. The same commercial was banned in Sweden year 2014 due to the milk lobby. So it is evident that the Semla incident has a long history of fights. There are huge money involved. So old dairy companies fight against the new companies that invents new products to consume. And it is a bit upside down, because instead of providing their existing consumers with what they ask for when they stop to drinking dairy, the dairy companies start fighting with their competitors, forgetting that their main challenge is that it is their own old customers that has changed the consumption pattern. Why not change you too? It's like the camera company Kodak. They invented a digital camera already in 1975, but they held it back. They thought their main business was selling the films that we before used in cameras. Selling films was a lucrative business and they didn't want to jeopardize it. So since they held back and didn't accept how the future looked like, other companies marched ahead and made digital cameras go big. So in the end, Kodak lost both their big customer base as well as the film selling business. Because who buys films nowadays when you have a digital camera? Dairy industry are used to court cases, and what is very much in focus right now is an amendment made in the European Union by the Parliament that forbids dairy alternatives to use words and packaging that resembles dairy. Now companies and organizations like Oatley, Upfield and Proveg are fighting to get the amendment removed. Just now, so-called trilogue discussions regarding this matter is being held between European Parliament, the EU Council of Ministers and the European Commission. They may decide not to reject the amendment named Amendment 171. And of course, if that would happen, we can expect the vegan communities to become enormously disappointed. But I think the vegan community is very patient. They are used to waiting long for changes to come into place. But I think that what makes the community so sturdy is that they know what the future is about. It's just a matter of time until all are accepting the vegan lifestyle and are on the same track. The plant-based milk, yogurt and cheese alternatives will be the future. And 30 seconds of commercial spot on Super Bowl is just one sign of that. So the dairy company Arla reached badwill last week. But that was actually just the tip of an iceberg. In Sweden it had been revealed that many of their certified farms for milk production actually have horrific condition for their animals. After a report broadcasted on national TV where consumers were outraged of what they saw, Arla produced a series of commercials in order to look better in the eye of the public. But even these new commercials has been widely criticized since certain features like massage for cows is in practice not something the cows get time for. So the industry tries hard, but still they are obsessed with selling films. Zoonotic diseases are caused by germs that spread between animal and people. And animals kept tightly are a breeding ground for viruses and their mutations. But humans also have a problem with how antibiotics have been used. In 2017, WHO asked for reduction in use of antibiotics in healthy animals and also said that overuse and misuse of antibiotics in animals and humans is contributing to the rising threat of antibiotic resistance. So we, the humans, need to survive longer than the current COVID pandemic. We need to make sure we will not get more pandemics and that we will not increase the antibiotic resistance. Most of the infectious diseases that the last years have emerged were transmitted via animals, like swine flu, bird flu, and it is believed also corona is one of those that was transmitted from animals to humans. So the less we have farmed animals, the less risk to get these kind of diseases. And also, without farmed animals, we would use less antibiotics and reduce the risk of multi-drug resistance. We do not want zoonotic diseases to get more and more intense. So I will not be surprised if the future Semlas all will be vegan. Yummy and at the same time better for the planet. And now it's time to end, and see you soon again. And please remember to subscribe to this channel so you get notified when there are new episodes. And do you like this podcast? Please spread it. Vegans, non-vegans and flexitarians, all are welcome. Next episode will be about Jainism, an Indian religion which I believe should be 100% vegan, but is not. But a religion that still contains most of the aspects vegans live by when it comes to protecting animals. A religion Mahatma Gandhi was partly born into. That one is going to be very interesting and surely something you will remember and think about. So until then, goodbye and see you soon again. Hej då!